While there is no doubt that supply chain operations are constantly evolving, it's reasonable to say that 2020 generated disruptions that most consumer good firms were not used to. Then, in 2022, there are hurdles that businesses must overcome to be successful in the competitive world of e-commerce. In many ways, global supply chains have been able to get back on track after a turbulent 2020. Nonetheless, a number of supply chain problems continued into 2021, causing even greater trouble for e-commerce shops, large and small. However, the dreadful COVID-19 pandemic continues to disrupt the supply chain system with new and unpredictable barriers to profitability and productivity. Today, we have in store for you the 10 facts that might destabilize supply chains in 2023. Let's begin. Number 1. Labor and product shortages. The year 2022 was distinguished by major shortages, which were caused by the global impact of the COVID crisis of the time. The effects of the initial jaw-dropper was sustained by subsequent crises, resulting in blockages in energy and raw material supplies and worsening labor shortages, while industrial output capacities was constrained. Demand remained sky high. According to the German IFO Institute, 64% of German enterprise suffered production shortages in October 2022. Despite rising demand from IoT, 5G, and automotive electrification, supply has lagged due to Chinese cuts and raw material shortages from Russia and Ukraine. The labor shortages are projected to emerge in Europe and the United States over time, notably in the service sector. 65% of French company leaders acknowledged recruitment issues. Number 2. Higher costs. The Russia-Ukraine war outbreak in February 2022 caused a serious energy crisis, notably in Europe, which was more than 40% reliant on Russian gas before the conflict. The war had a major impact on the profitability of energy-intensive businesses such as paper, chemicals, and agri-food. Alliance, an insurance firm, predicts about a 20% increase in corporate insolvencies in the year 2023. The coming year is predicted to be more difficult than the current year due to the simultaneous slowing of the world's three main economies: the United States, the European Union, and China. China's growth in 2022 is anticipated to be equal to or lower than global growth for the first time in 40 years. In Asia, the Chinese economy, which a stringent zero-COVID policy has harmed, is predicted to witness a 15% increase in insolvencies in 2023. The acceleration will be substantially faster than the United States, about 38% in 2023, which could lead to a supply chain disruption in areas with considerably independence between parties. Number 3. Cyber attack on the supply chain. Digital transformation in the Internet of Things can be a mixed blessing in supply chain operations. Having said that, various technologies such as artificial intelligence, drones and robots, electric cars, and on-demand delivery can potentially improve how we approach the traditional supply chain. However, cyber attacks continue to pose a significant risk to businesses. While large corporations have made significant investments in the security of their information systems in recent years, smaller enterprises and their supply chain partners remain susceptible and frequently lack visibility into their cybersecurity maturity level. The current global scarcity of electronic chips has emphasized the global economy's interconnectivity and vulnerability. 52% of worldwide organizations have already faced a cyber attack on their supply chain, according to Trend Micro. Number 4. Geopolitical crisis. After the pandemic, the supply chains of many sectors have been strongly affected again by the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Firstly, the energy sector in Russia supplied 40% of Europe's natural gas needs before the war, then the agri-food sector, and finally, the metallurgy industry. According to a survey of manufacturing industry professionals done by Hubs, a Netherlands-based online platform for custom part production, one of the top supply chain concerns for 2023 is worsening the worldwide semiconductor shortage. The survey identified 5 supply chain risks to watch for in 2023, beginning with concerns that escalating tensions between China and Taiwan could spark a military conflict in the region, which could have serious consequences for global supply chains, as Taiwan is still the leading producer of semiconductors. Following reshoring and nearshoring, friendshoring might be the new paradigm for corporations to pick these supply chain partners appropriately. Number 5. Logistic crisis. In 2002, the logistic industry encountered marine freight, land transport, and packaging disruptions. Strikes and port closures plagued the maritime freight sector, causing delays and disrupting worldwide supplies. Despite initial predictions, the need for container shipping has surged significantly after the pandemic, with global lockdown measures resulting in a rise in e-commerce sales. There's been an increase in import demand for raw materials and produced consumer items. Furthermore, freight prices fell due to the drop in consumption and shortage of trained drivers. Also, shipping costs and delivery times have risen, especially in the London market, as the global system remains fractured and unstable. The logistical crisis is believed to persist in 2023. Number 6. Demand volatility. During the pandemic, consumer attitudes and behaviors shifted dramatically, such as lowering the threshold for delivery times and straightening the expectations for an excellent customer experience. The issue is to have an agile supply chain that can enhance the effectiveness of automation to optimize fulfillment and easily meet accelerated demand. Multi-channel ordered fulfillment services and inventory management software are outstanding examples of supply chain flexibility. Predicting consumer behavior and inflation levels have gotten difficult. Traditional corporate planning approaches are proven to be obsolete, and distributors are fueling the bullwhip effect. The situation in Europe is deteriorating, with an average stock level of $80 billion in 2022, up from $20 to $40 billion in 2020. Number 7. Security of supply. Supply chain security is a subset of supply chain management that concentrates on the risk management of external suppliers, vendors, logistics, and transportation. Its purpose is to identify, analyze, and manage the risks inherent to interacting with other companies as part of the supply chain. Supply chain security includes both physical securities for products and cybersecurity for software and services. With COVID-19, the trend towards nearshoring has increased, as has China's progressive rebalancing towards countries where it still has a competitive advantage. Companies must now reconfigure their supply chains by establishing dependable and competitive alternatives and relocating supply sources closer to their consumption basins. Yet identifying new sources of supply is difficult. Number 8. Climate crisis. The year 2022 was marked by catastrophic weather disasters, including severe droughts in Europe, Brazil, and China, major floods in Pakistan, Australia, and South Africa, destructive storms in Northern America, heat waves, and massive forest fires in Europe and America. These natural disasters have had a substantial economic impact, costing well around $268 billion, and they had a significant impact on supply network. For example, India's heat wave has cut wheat production and raised prices. In August, a heat wave in China's Sichuan province exacerbated electricity shortages and forced VW, Intel, and Toyota suppliers to close operations. Flooding in South Africa devastated the port of Durban, causing the price of cobalt to skyrocket. In order to foresee and mitigate the risk of these more frequent weather-related catastrophes, businesses must have improved visibility of their whole value chain, including the location of suppliers, manufacturing sites, and transportation routes. Number 9. Corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility in supply chain management has piqued the attention of businesses and stakeholders, as companies are increasingly required to evaluate their influence on stakeholders and the environment. SCM is an efficient and cost-effective management of goods and services, including all processes that convert raw materials into finished products. Through stronger rules, Western nations are working for more ecological and ethical supply chains. Countries such as Germany, the United Kingdom, the United States, and Australia already have laws against forced labor in supply chains. Europe may soon compel companies with more than 1,000 employees to address social and environmental risks throughout their supply chains. Another critical challenge for businesses is decarbonizing supply chains to safeguard the environment. They must verify that their strategy is consistent with the climate goals of limiting global warming to 1.5 Celsius. Number 10. The current COVID-19 scenario. The pandemic continues to pose massive problems to global supply chains. Even in 2023, national lockdowns hinder or halt the movement of raw materials and completed commodities in pending industries. The current surge in COVID-19 cases in China is a big concern, with some estimates predicting that 800 million individuals could be infected. According to research by the Hong Kong-based shipping service HLS, many Chinese factory workers are unable to work, resulting in delivery cancellations and a fall in the Shanghai, Qingdao, and Shenzhen sports sectors. Industries all over the entire globe are still dealing with the great supply chain disruption. They are trying to improve execution, reduce risk, increase dexterity, and explore ways to obtain a genuine competitive advantage. To accomplish these objectives, it will be critical to build data-driven networks, leverage the most recent digital information capabilities, prioritize risk management and resilience, and streamline logistics, among other things. Keeping ahead of these and other major changes allow supply chains to design a prosperous, sustainable future. With that, we have come to the close of this video. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more intriguing stuff. See ya!